All right, let's show how to reconfigure a Zebra printer number 2. All right, so you would start out by going to the printer URL or the IP address of the printer. So it's a good idea to keep a document of all of your printers and their IP addresses. That will bring you to a page, if I typed it right, okay, for the printer configuration. And you can see how the printer is set up by going to View Printer Configuration. And you'll see here the width and the length, label length that it's set up. It's in millimeters, so 832 is about 4 inches. It's about 206 millimeters per inch. Um, so 1296 is 6 inches. Um, Also, if you go home, one place that I go to often is View Modify Configuration. Gives you a password. That password, by the way, is 1234 by default, unless you change it. Okay, so now I can proceed to restricted areas, and I'll go to Media Setup. In Media Setup, I can change the printer width, okay, and submit those changes, and it'll change how wide the printer is. This length down here, I mistakenly thought that this was the actual length. This is actually the maximum length that the printer will run. So it's not really usually very pertinent to what we're trying to do. Okay, so normally though, I will come here to change the printer width if I need to. Okay, instead of changing the printer width, what I'd really recommend you do is recalibrate the printer. And in looking through this, I really couldn't find a calibration directly in here. If you go to printer settings, there's a thing called calibration, and that calibration does not change or does not or tell the printer to recalibrate. Okay. Um, so instead, if you want to force the printer to recalibrate, we're going to send it a recalibrate command, a media recalibrate command. And to do that remotely, go to directory listings, create a new script. We'll edit that script, and in there just put a squiggly. That's the little thing over the hash in the upper left-hand corner of your keyboard, and then a JC. Okay, and then just say print the label. And when you print that label, that will send a printer configuration. So if I print that right now, my printer will run and shoot out usually 2 pages. Okay, and it's using the sensor to figure out what the printer width and length is and set that printer width and length based on it feeding some labels and seeing what media is actually loaded. So if you run that squiggly JC, you will get your printer to reconfigure, and that'll work for every different type of Zebra printer that you have. I hope that helps.